Dr. Fauci, I want to go straight to the issue with this nurse. She was kept in a tent. She writes in this editorial, I am scared. I am scared about how health workers will be treated. No one seemed to be in charge. No one would tell me what was going on and what would happen to me. Is this how people are being trained to deal with people?
Well, first of all, two principles. One, we need to protect the American public. But two, we need to make the decisions based on scientific data. And we know that people who are without symptoms are not a threat to transmitting it. You don't get Ebola unless you come into direct contact with body fluid. So there are things that we've got to be careful.
Which Governor Christie even said she was symptomatic and ill. She wasn't symptomatic and ill.
And the point is, the scientific evidence is what needs to drive us. You appreciate the fears of the American people, but you don't want to have a policy that would have negative unintended consequences.
So how did this happen? How did this healthcare worker come in and be treated like that?
I cannot explain that, Martha. I can just tell you that what we want to do is to make sure, first, protect the American public, but do so based on scientific data. And we keep repeating over and over again, the scientific data tells us that people who are without symptoms, with whom you don't come into contact with body fluids, are not a threat. They will not get infected.
Well, what's your reaction to this mandatory quarantine then in New York and New Jersey?
Well, as a scientist and as a health person, if I were asked, I would not have recommended that.
Does it put more pressure on the CDC to change its policy? Should there be some national policy?
The CDC will continue to make their policies based on scientific data. Now, that doesn't mean that they're cavalier about this at all. There are different levels of risk to a healthcare worker, and that there are different levels of monitoring. If you put everyone in one basket, even people who are clearly no threat, then we have the problem of the disincentive of people that we need. Let's not forget, the best way to stop this epidemic is to, and protect America, is to stop it in Africa. And you can really help stopping it in Africa if we have our people, our heroes, the healthcare workers, go there and help us to protect America. We can't lose sight of that.
Well, let's go back to this week. And we saw Nina Pham released. We saw her hugging the president, clearly to send a message.
Right.
But at the same time this week on Friday, Deborah Berger, a co-president of National Nurses United, testified that the new CDC guidelines were still unclear, especially the protective equipment. She said the lack of mandates and shifting guidelines and reliance on voluntary compliance has left caregivers vulnerable to infection.
Well, right now, if you look at the recommendations, they are clearly more stringent than they were right now. I know because I took care of Nina, and I'm using the recommendations. And clearly, if you follow the recommendations now, and you are trained, but here's the critical issue, Martha. It isn't just a recommendation on the website. You have to be trained, you have to practice, you have to have people helping you put the material on and taking it off.
Okay, thanks very much for joining us, Dr. Fauci.